Okay, so what are the fees structure? What does it look like to join EXP? So there's a $149 startup fee to join EXP. That's going to also cover your first month's monthly fees for the technology and tools and training. Your commission and cap, it's an 80-20 split. It's a $16,000 cap. After that, you earn 100% commission for the remainder of your anniversary year. The monthly fees to stay active at EXP is $85 a month. All the technology that we talked about, all the technology you'll ever need, each agent's going to pay $85 a month for all those tools, all the training. And then per transaction fees, there's a $25 broker review fee and a $40 risk management fee, which the broker review fee is per transaction, and the risk management fee caps at $500. That's your E&O essentially. So this is important to know, just because this is the main structure. If you're talking to an agent that's not at your company about joining EXP, and an independent agent wanted to join, this is pretty much the way that they would join. The big difference, and this is the part of the presentation that I think is probably harder to find this information out there, is what are all the ways that I could join my independent brokerage or my team? How could I merge that with EXP, and what would that look like? And EXP has a completely agile structure for teams and independent brokerages that we're going to talk about here. There's a self-organized team, which we'll talk about last, a standard team, which is a half cap for the team members, and then a mega icon team, which is a quarter cap for the team members. The standard team. So if you have less than 10 agents, you're going to come over as a standard team. The way that structure would look is you would have one team leader. If that's you, then you would have a $16,000 cap as the team leader. Your agents would come over on a reduced half cap. For agents on the team, that would be $8,000. The minimum split that your agents would have to be on with you as a team leader would be a 75-25 split, meaning you need to retain, as the team leader, 25% of the commissions from those agents for them to be able to get that $8,000 half cap. There's a team agreement that would be required in writing that would have to be approved by EXP, and you would have to provide your team roster to EXP, obviously, and you need to have closed $6 million or 30 transactions in the past 12 months. The mega icon team, which would be more than 10 agents, and if you have more than 10 agents, or if you have 150 agents, whatever the case may be, more than likely this mega icon team is going to be the structure you might be looking at. You would still have one, full capping team leader, which would be probably you, at $16,000, and then you actually have a reduced quarter cap for your agents on your team, meaning all the agents in your brokerage would come over on a $4,000 split to EXP is all they would have to pay. Same split, they need to be on at least a 75-25. So if the structure of your brokerage is a 75-25 and most of the agents are below 75-25 split, then this is going to be pretty easy to transition to EXP, because it's not a lot that the agent would have to pay, and it's certainly not a lot for you to have to pay in order to be able to leverage everything we just talked about. So there's still this team agreement required, a team roster is required, and you need to have closed 40 million or 175 transactions with at least 10 capping team members in the past 12 months. So that's the requirement there from a production standpoint to earn the opportunity to be a mega icon team. There's a 56,000 minimum floor cap, meaning your 10 agents minimum would be $40,000, right? 4,000 times 10, and then your 16,000, that's 56K. So that's the minimum. Every agent that you have is still going to be on a 4,000 cap. If you had another 40 agents, then they're all going to be paying towards that $4,000 cap themselves. But the minimum you have to pay in order to be able to offer that reduced cap of a quarter cap to those agents is 56K. So anything you want to add to either one of those two structures in discussion now?
Yep, sure. When I brought my team over, I was a independent broker of 10 agents, me plus 10 agents. So when I actually came over, I did come over and was approved for the mega icon team status. I think it's important to note that was 2.5 years ago. I came over with 10 agents. All 10 came, by the way. We can kind of go over on a private call if you're interested in, what that would look like, because you really have, you have to just do the math, and we can certainly guide you and help you in that. Just reach out to us after this presentation is done, and we'll be happy to hop on. But I think it's also just important to note that today, as we talk to you, I have over 40 agents. So I've literally, because of this business model, because of the platform that EXP has allowed in this team structure, I've been able to grow my local team from 10 agents, a small indie brokerage of 10 agents, to over 40 agents. And like I said, we're hitting our cap requirements every year for this mega team. It's great. And if you're watching this and you don't have 10 agents, this is a great incentive for all of your agents to want to get on board and get your team over 10 agents, because they would all get their caps cut and have from $8,000 to $4,000. When I tell smaller teams that they're less than 10 about this mega team opportunity, the agency actually get excited. And I don't know about you, Jay, when we had our teams, when we had our teams and that were 6 or 8 or 10 agents, they really weren't pro growth. They didn't want us to grow and get bigger. And the biggest thing was they just didn't have an incentive. There was nothing in it for them. And so my agents, we grew, we quadrupled in size. But I can tell you this: it wasn't because I was out pounding the pavement recruiting all these agents. My agents are bringing their friends over, and because they have a financial incentive to do that. So that's all I wanted to kind of.
That's a great point. No doubt about that. And so this last one is a self-organized team, and this is really where it doesn't really matter what we talk to a lot of different independents, and I think an argument could be made that Al and myself probably our group has probably brought on the most independent brokerages, certainly the largest, and over to EXP. And so we've looked at a lot of different business models, and you might be 100% brokerage, or you might have several agents. Maybe you have 25 or 50 agents, and you got several of them on a 90-10 split. And that doesn't preclude you from bringing agents over to EXP. In fact, this self-organized team structure allows you to leverage, whatever agreement that you may have. Let's say you got an agent that's paying you 10%, and you have an office, and they've got a nice little corner office they're utilizing, and you provide some value to them, and you want to keep that 10%. You don't want to lose that revenue from those agents that are not on a 75-25 minimum that's required for them to get the reduced cap. But this agent's clearly, the agents that are on a 90-10, or if you're 100% shop and you got agents that are producing, they're going to get the $16,000 back in the form of stock if they're a producing agent. So that's an easy sell. We can get those agents on board with this plan, because they're just going to get a ton more value at EXP and a ton more opportunity for basically little or nothing in terms of real loss to them. So if you have whatever your structure may be, at this point, if you're looking deeply at this as a potential opportunity, then, it's time to do the math. Like, we have to get on a call and break down the math and look at, well, what are your agents' current splits? What's the current value that you're providing to them? What things are you going to continue to provide? What things are you not going to continue to provide if you were to do this? Which, generally speaking, what I see happen is you don't change anything. As far as the agent's concerned, everything remains the same. They're just getting all this additional added value, and besides the fact that they're going to be partnering with us and a lot of an additional coaching and training and stuff that we provide to your agents that join as well. So it's there's pretty much a way for anybody to join. And structure-wise, mathematically, it almost always makes sense. There's very rarely that we run into a business structure where the math doesn't make sense. I think the only place that it's the hardest is if you are already a capped system, meaning you have a cap of 12 or 15 or 18,000. But if that is your business model as a brokerage right now, I don't know how in the world you're going to ever compete with EXP. So looking at this business model and the opportunity, let's do the math and see if there's a way that we can make this a win-win for you. So that's kind of my take on it. Anything else you would add to that, Al?
Yeah, I mean, in this, I know that some of this jargon may seem a little confusing, self-organized team and mega team and all this. What we've done is we've implemented this self-organized team. We actually call it the Icon Partner Program for our team. We already have employees. We already are giving value to our team members. But there's agents who are high-producing agents who just wouldn't join our team. And there's probably agents out there who maybe would never join your brokerage or your team if you're watching this. What this self-organized team structure allows you to do is actually partner with those agents at a smaller percentage possibly, and give them a different level of service that you would give your team member, for instance, where they can still plug into a lot of your systems, maybe even some of your assistants, such as listing coordination or closing coordinators. And that's kind of what we've been able to create. And now we actually have Icon agents that are producing at a super high level that would have never joined our team, but now they're partnered with us through this self-organized structure.